He was at almost $1,800.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, Chicago Psychic Medium and Aloha Shirt Psychic. And today we got Linda G in the house. Take it away, Linda. Yay.
Hey, everyone.
We were just gossiping before, so.
Yeah, talking about a psychic that charges $1,800.
Wow, I'm in the wrong business.
But the problem with this psychic is you book with them and then you look so forward to your date, which can be out a year. And when I paid for this reading, it was $800 and canceled on me several times.
Sometimes we have to cancel because things come up, but we get people in right away. But I mean,
yeah, oh no,
canceled like 5 or 6 times, and that's
back to back. Yeah,
that's not good. Anyway,
all right.
I'm happy to announce. Well, not happy, but I retired from Infinity Foundation. So a lot of people have been asking about my classes and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing Zoom classes online and also at my office. So if you're interested, you'll call my office and I'll put the link below. Not you, but whoever. Well, you can come too, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, let's get started, shall we?
Okay.
I guess the biggest question going on, and I watched the news this morning, people are still wanting to know, and we covered this before, but about the governor's race in Virginia, because it looks like the Republican has taken a slight edge.
Yeah, it always looks like that. I don't trust polls at all.
Okay.
Remember, Hillary was supposed to win.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, people want to know if we still see McAuliffe win.
I have to tell you what I see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Right.
But I see the Democrat winning. Very close, but winning. But yeah, first of all, don't trust Fox News.
Right. I don't know who took the polls. I don't know.
By a big landfall. And then other people are saying, did you see the line of people getting ready to vote?
Yes.
Is that Democrats or is that both?
I'm sorry?
Is that only Democrats or is that only Republicans?
I don't know, but you know, at least voter apathy is kind of a thing of the past. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Well, let's hope the Dems and
I see that guy winning. I mean, if he doesn't, I'd be surprised. But I asked my guides, I did to pendulum over and over. That's all I can say. I can't say anymore because it's either right or it's wrong.
Right, exactly. Well, folks in Virginia, Democrats, Independents, get out and vote.
Right.
Regardless of the weather, how long they make you stand in line.
Well, the thing is, if they vote for that guy that's there now, it's gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah, I know. It's gonna be horrible.
First thing he'll do is say, don't get vaccinated, don't wear a mask. He'll be like DeSantis.
And he's gonna put in those draconian laws against abortion.
And then Trump will claim that he's the reason the guy won, which isn't.
Of course, because Trump endorsed him.
But he always says it was him, you know.
Oh, well, Trump always takes credit for that. Okay, let's see. I'm a proud Texan. This is Sylvia. However, I have been very worried on the ban abortion issue and the subsequent controlling issues that are being imposed here in Texas. She says, so 1900s. The issues before the Supreme Court today. What will the legal outcome of this be? It's a Greg Abbott driven move, she says, that impacts women's freedoms of reproductive health rights. I thank you so much, and I look forward to you and Linda every week. God bless.
So what do you think?
Well, I don't see Roe v. Wade being overturned. I never did.
I didn't either, but you know, we got those scary people in now.
Well, what gets me is when, you know, like Amy Coney Barrett said that she wasn't partisan. I'm like, or Mitch McConnell said she wasn't partisan. I'm like, yeah, right. But I you know, and at some point I see more justices on the Supreme Court. So if they try to limit women's rights to their body, if you will, at some point they'll get more justices on the court that will say, wait a minute.
Yeah, because even if they temporarily try to throw that off the books, something will happen.
That's right. And the same with voters' rights. I mean, when I see more justices on the court, they're like, you cannot tamper with people's right to vote. I've been saying that all along. So let's see what happens. Okay, Tracy Blair. Will Roger Stone be implicated and charged in the January 6th insurrection?
Absolutely, yes.
I see Roger Stone under investigation.
It's
And
more than just that, yeah.
Right, and I see implications, indictments. I guess the question is, will he be convicted? And I say yes as well.
I say yes, and also he's worried this time more so than he was before because he had Trump in his pocket.
Right.
But now he's worried and he has no money. He's begging everybody for money.
Right. I'll tell you who else better watch this P's and Q's is Flynn.
Oh, I know. I know.
You know, my guides show me he thinks he's out of the woods, but you know, and I still see Flynn going to jail.
This is the thing that's really going to get people. Everybody's saying, oh, and when the Republicans take over and Republicans take over. I don't see that. So when the Democrats are still powerful in the House and Senate, especially in the Senate, things are going to change. And these people that thought that they were, because they're going to realize, that's the point where I see them realize that Trump isn't all that, because that's when they start turning and jumping ship, because they're thinking, wait a second, having Trump in my pocket isn't going to get me anything.
You know, Trump is just a diversion and a deflection, really. You know, as I keep saying, it's the American apartheid. It's that small group of them, religions, ultra-right religions included, telling the rest of us what to do. And for a while, it looks like they'll win the battles. But my guides say they will not win the war.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, we're still in for some rough times with, you know, violence and stuff like that. That's not behind us yet.
Right.
But I think, as I keep saying, if a bunch of us speak loud enough and hard enough, the majority of us, then we'll win.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
the thing is once Trump falls off that I'm the king and I'll make things happen wagon, it's suddenly, I don't see anybody else standing in taking his place.
No. Well, McCarthy thinks he can, but wrong. And I think, who's that governor in Texas? Oh, I'm having a scene with the big chops, and what's the crazy guy?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think he thinks he can have a run for president, but he thinks he can take Cruz. He thinks he can take Trump's place, but I don't think he can. Or DeSantis in Florida, none of them.
No.
I think McCarthy thinks at some point he can run for president, but just what happened to the past McCarthy is going to happen to this one.
Yeah. You know, I'm reading a book now called Peril, Bob Woodward.
Yeah.
My God, my friend, they are in the deeps of what really happened back in that White House during all this, and Trump being absolutely outrageous. Barr went in and talked to him and said, you know what, you're going to lose, because people wouldn't tell him he's going to lose. If you weren't telling him what he wanted to hear, his staff was too afraid. Jared would even push someone, go tell him, because people were saying, man, his numbers suck.
Well, that's exactly what's going on now. You know, he's still not saying that he lost. Trump will never shut his mouth. He'll never shut his mouth. The day he shuts his mouth is the day he buys the farm. You know, he'll never shut up. And he's just a rebel rouser. He's an idea. Well, he's not even an ideologue. He's a demagogue. A demagogue loves to stir up trouble, lies, conspiracy, because they want power. And
right, but you know, and somebody's saying, well, this Biden's the president now, so you guys got to deal with Biden. I said, hello, Trump never gave anybody a break. He was on all presidents. He blamed all presidents for all his troubles.
Right.
And so Barr tried to tell him, and he was trying to pull ACA out of with the Supreme Court. And he said, dude, this is the worst time to do this with a pandemic going on.
That's right.
What are you thinking?
Well,
and so he just wouldn't listen. So now Trump is claiming that Barr was the one that made him loose.
And he's blaming the voting machines, and he's blaming this, and he's blaming that. It just never stops. History will not treat him favorably.
No, I know.
Here's a really good question. It's from Anonymous. Will our democracy stand because it seems to be in peril? That's a very good question.
This is a very weird time, and it will stand because my guides told me it will. So I trust them.
Yep.
But I do feel it's that same sense. And it took a while post the Civil War to get back, because that kind of energy was still going on. And Trump was talking to everybody about, not getting rid of the Confederate flag and not taking down the statues. And a couple of the people who were with him said, you know what, I'm a Yankee. And you know what, we won. So yeah, get rid of that stuff because they're the losers.
Right. I think
who are these people going to fight? They're out there showing off guns like Democrats don't have guns, like other people.
Right, exactly.
It's not even, we would never have to come to that because the military would step in.
Exactly. Yeah, people were just worried about our democracy, and it's kind of teetering, but I still see democracy winning.
Oh, here's a little tidbit that I got on Twitter yesterday. Lindsey Graham apparently was telling the police at Washington during the insurrection, shoot the rioters, shoot them.
Wow, Mr. Chameleon. I think a lot of Republicans behind the scenes are telling people they don't like Trump, but yet publicly that looks like they kiss his rear end.
Liz Cheney confirmed that. Liz Cheney said, you won't believe the Republicans that are coming to me saying, you go, girl, but they can't do it because they can't afford to lose their place.
They need to grow a set and stand up.
Because she got hers.
Internally, that party is going to be at odds. People are thinking the Democratic Party's falling apart, but it's really not.
No.
But I think the Dems need to start acting a little bit more aggressive and probably a little bit more proactive as opposed to reactive.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So everybody's wanting to know about the two bills this week, the infrastructure or whatever is going through.
I see some stuff passing.
Yeah, I do too. I just saw on the news.
It's cut down, it's shot to hell and back, but yeah.
Well, I like your ant thing.
Ants come through. And Manchin's got a lot of nerve saying, I worry about my grandchildren. You do?
You worry
about your grandchildren, but you're not going to do anything related to coal or anything with the environment. But you're worried about your grandchildren, why you live fat and everybody else is poor.
Well, Senator Manchin, if you worry about your grandkids, all I can say is you better build an ark, because if we don't do something about climate change, there's going to be a lot of stuff underwater.
I heard they're already worried about Chicago, that there's stuff with the weather now about it, Chicago being flooded a lot.
Yeah, I've never seen it this warm this late in the year, and it's in the 40s now.
Right.
I don't know, it should be colder, and it's just not. It's like weird. And we've had a lot of rain.
Get your canoe.
Yeah, right.
Hey, did you guys go out, or did you have trick-or-treaters last night?
We went Saturday night to my cousin's house, to a party. I was Frankensteina.
Okay.
And I won't tell you what Gary was. It was funny.
Okay.
But we had some trick-or-treaters last night, so that was good.
I've lived here 5 years, and I'm lucky to get 1 or 2. Last year it was 0. I had over 10 kids come.
Wow.
One girl, she was so cute. She was young. I couldn't guess her age. She said, actually, I'm in high school, and I know I'm kind of old to be trick-or-treating. I said, girlfriend, when I was in high school, shoot, I was in college and I was trick-or-treating. Don't you worry about a thing. Help yourself.
I was looking for candy, but I wasn't going door to door.
Years ago, me and my girlfriends, we were running around. We were just maybe 8th graders. And this old man said, aren't you girls a little too big to be trick-or-treating? Hand over the candy, old man.
That's funny. Anyway,
So
it was a nice Halloween.
it was good.
Here's a good one. Shine Light. Jim, I can't pronounce his last name, Caviezel. He was the actor that played in The Passion of Christ.
Oh, I know. I saw him going by St. Michael. Him and Mel Gibson are Trump lovers.
I know. And he gave a conspiracy-filled speech at a QAnon conference in Vegas. And she wants to know, is he mentally ill or just totally bought into
He's bought and paid for.
She said, what's in his future? Well, number one, Hollywood will ban him if they haven't already. And number two,
I don't think he's really done any work, really.
He hasn't. Number two, there was a Catholic bishop in Texas that applauded Jim's speech. And my opinion is Catholic bishops to stay out of politics and run the church.
Right.
This Catholic bishop embraces extremism. I watched his speech and it just sounded like he was a preacher.
Yeah.
He's
bought and paid for. It's really a shame.
It was disjointed. He compared wearing a mask to slavery. I'm like, oh, really? Let's put you in slavery for a month and show you what slavery really is. And then you can talk about it.
I mean, all of these horrible diseases that have gone through life. Can you imagine everybody said, no, I'm not going to do polio. You can't tell me what to do. No, I'm not going to do, the 1917 flu vaccine.
Or smallpox.
No, you can't tell us what to do. All of a sudden, this is an issue.
I remember when I was in school, I had some friends, and my sister had a couple of friends who had polio. And I remember in August, I got the shot, and then we took the sugar cubes. But I remember in the summer, specifically like in July or August when it was hot, my mother was leery about letting us go to the swimming pool even after the vaccines because that was the time of year kids got polio because it was so contagious.
Yeah, President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yes.
They think he got it swimming.
Yep. My mother had a cousin who died of polio. Yeah. And so, it was really rampant. And so people were thankful when the shots came out.
Yes. Oh, they couldn't. I remember standing in a long line at my elementary school with all the parents and the kids. Yeah. A long line.
Exactly. So,
and I was just happy to get that sugar cube. I wanted another one.
I did too. I was like, this tastes good. Can I have another one?
Why, more, please. More.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, Patricia Corrales. What is in store for Claire McCaskill? Seems the Biden administration could use her. They certainly could.
They could. I don't see her running again. Al Franken, yes. Her, no. I think she's really going to get paid good money as a commentator, like what she's doing.
I got a feeling she'll be appointed a post in presidential cabinet at some point.
Maybe, yeah, because oh God, she's so smart.
She really is.
And when she talks, it makes so much sense. And that Josh Hawley got in.
Oh, I know. Well, he's a one-time senator.
He's a one-time, yeah.
But I really wish she'd run for president.
Yeah, I don't see her now.
I don't see that happening, but she'd be a good president. But I see her in an appointed position in the cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. We just talked about this, Heather. Do your guides understand this anti-vaccine movement? Can they tell us why people are so afraid of the vaccination? I can answer that. Well, I think because they're buying the Donald Trump QAnon BS that, oh my God, they can track you through this, they can do that.
Trump, if you really look at Trump, he's
vaccinated.
Not doing that. It's his cohorts around him. Right. Trump got COVID. Trump got the vaccine. His whole family got the vaccine. He actually said to one of his groups, because I'll give him credit where credit is due. Maybe you guys should get the vaccine, and they booed him.
But Trump is duplicitous. That means.
Right. So he goes, oh, okay. So he's not going to go there. But he's not standing up front and saying, by God, get the vaccine.
Well, exactly. Okay.
And he was the one that took off all the stops, so we could get the vaccine.
Right, exactly.
He's the one that started it. He took out all the restrictions. I want something. He was desperate.
And then he takes credit for bringing out the vaccine, but yet he's fueling this anti-vax thing.
I don't know if he's fueling it or if it's just his cohorts around him. I've never heard him say you'll get tracked or any of that. I've never heard him say that.
Well, I think it was tell his cohorts to back off. They would do that. They're just
politicizing it so
they can win political favor. That's what it
is. You notice he's not telling DeSantis knock it off.
Right, exactly.
Because DeSantis went way overboard. I'm stopping money and all this. I'll be honest with you, okay? If Trump had got back into office, there's a lot of horrible things that would have happened. But one thing I don't think he'd have a problem with is making sure people got vaccinated. I really don't.
You know, I just think that what's happening is he, like to those Nazis, he gave a wink and a nod. Was it in Virginia when that big parade was happening, that big march?
Oh yeah, his father was a KKK and was arrested in 1927.
But I do
that think that is all him, but not this vaccine. He was the one that's got it going, and he would take total credit for it, just like he insisted on a signature when we got them checks.
Right.
Let y'all know that was from him, not the taxpayers.
Well, I think part of this, you know, it plays on people's fear. It plays on people's almost xenophobia. Like, government can't tell me what to do. They can't tell me that I have to get a shot or wear a mask. Oh, but you want to limit women's right to abortion?
Right.
I think it stems from a lot of the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who, well, even some educated people buy into it.
Well, the thing is that even the ones that are taking it to Supreme Court are losing.
Exactly.
Supreme Court says private jobs can do what they want. If they say in order to work here, you have to get a vaccine, so you can. Like all those firemen and everything. I was so surprised in New York. New York went through a horrible time, just terrible. And yet they're over there. And why would you want, although if he's a good looking fireman, but why would you want somebody coming in, breathing on you that's not vaccinated?
Exactly. It's like,
and there was this nurse talking. That's probably why I got kicked off Twitter. And she was like, you know, they were escatering her out and you don't have free will. And she didn't have a mask on or anything. And I thought, you know, lady, I'm a nurse. And let me tell you something. If I decided not to get vaccinated, yeah, then I stay home. But you don't get other people sick. You don't get your patients sick.
Right.
Anyway, my very end, I said, bye, B. You know the whole word. We don't want to say it on.
You got put in jail.
They suspended me. That could be one of the reasons. Maybe all her QAnon people complained about me.
You know, the QAnon stuff, you know, it defies common sense.
I know. Well, it all started with the Tea Party.
I know.
The Tea Party was so strange. I remember thinking, Americans really like this?
Well,
you know, it's brought out a lot of good people too, even Republicans that are no longer Republicans, or they're still Republicans, but they just can't stand how Trump has treated this nation.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and you know, and look at the president. He's over there now in Europe, and somebody said, isn't it nice not to have to be like embarrassed? Because Trump was embarrassing.
He was totally embarrassing, and Trump loved it. Trump loved to be in the spotlight. That's what he lives for.
He, honest to God, said the Queen of England told him he was the best president she's ever had. He was the absolute best president. She said I was fantastic. And, you know, Queen Elizabeth would not do something like that. And the other thing is Queen Elizabeth didn't say, no, I didn't say that, because she doesn't want to cause turmoil. Speaking of Queen Elizabeth, how are you feeling about her health?
Well, to her comment to Trump, what Trump said, she said, ding, 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 that's my BS bell.
Right.
My feeling is her health is a little precarious. I don't think
That's
she's
what
ready.
I'm feeling too.
I'm not saying she's ready to cross over just yet.
I do see her making her 221 70-year thing.
Yes, she will.
But I almost feel like she might step down before she actually passes it. She's so weak, she can't do the job.
That's the only way she would step down. The only way.
But she will give it to Charles. She's already said that.
Right.
But why is it I don't see Charles? Is Charles going to try to sneak that chameleon in?
You know, isn't that crazy? I never really saw him as king either, and I don't know why.
But if he tries to, he already promised if he married her, she would not be queen. Okay.
No, she
If
would
he
be there.
tries to make her queen, I could see eruption in the UK. Because for a long time, years ago, I saw like the monarchy pretty much getting ready to be exited. But I do see Prince William being king.
She could never be the queen because she's not next for the throne. It would be the queen's eldest child. I don't know if it's the eldest son. I think it goes. I don't know.
So what would her title be?
I think she would be a princess.
Because we'll have to look it up. You guys write us and tell us.
Like, for example,
because Prince Charles guaranteed he wouldn't try to make her. Because Queen Elizabeth and her husband, he was king and she was.
No, he wasn't the queen. He was a prince. Her husband was the prince.
Okay, but then he became king.
No, he became prince. He couldn't become king because she was queen. So it goes.
No, her father.
Oh, her father. The way it worked, I think her uncle had to abdicate because he married a commoner. Then it went to her father, but because her father had no son, she was the eldest. And then when her father died, she became queen.
But he couldn't be a king.
Who?
Prince Philip.
No, he was a prince.
And so the Rottweiler.
She could become a princess, but not.
Years ago, I was watching something on some channel. Beautiful pictures of Lady Diana. God, she's so pretty. And you know, you couldn't get a bad picture of her. And I'm watching, and suddenly in a bowling hat, they show Camilla. And I almost jumped backwards.
She was like, whoa.
I mean, I think she and Prince Charles are perfect together.
They are.
I think that really should have been the one he was with. And I think duty messed up a lot of things.
Certainly
because he really wanted to be with Camilla. He was forced into Diana, but then they used her like an animal, like a ploy. In the meantime, she's supposed to be having children and he can go off and have his affair with Camilla. That wasn't cool, and she knew better. Camilla knew better.
Right. You know, like getting back to the queen, like her mother was the king's wife.
Yeah.
But she was referred to as the queen mother.
Okay.
So her mother was never the queen. Her mother was a princess, but her mother was called the queen mother.
Okay.
So let's say if one of Charles's sons becomes the king, then Diana would be referred to as the queen mother or the king.
Oh, I don't know what that stuff is. I just know that they bring in money for the UK, but it's going to get really tough in the UK. I've seen this for a while. I see some natural disasters too. And what's going to happen is the people, as the older crowd starts dying off, the younger crowd says, we're done with this stuff. You know, really the queen is only queen in name only. She really has no power.
No, she's a figurehead.
But she's sitting on more money than God.
Well, that family's the richest family in the
and why?
Well, because they've amassed sums and fortunes of money through land and jewels and everything.
By stealing.
Because they've been on the throne for hundreds of years.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Will Samuel Alito, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, be the one that has to leave in 2022 because of his past decision? And will the Heritage Foundation ever be illuminated for the dark money?
Yes, it will.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
That's going to be, a lot of that's going to be coming to light very, very soon. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I don't know about Samuel.
I don't either. But I'm thinking there's some kind of whistleblower that'll come forward. I don't know if it's somebody who worked for Heritage Foundation or somebody who had some interactions with the Supreme Court, but I'm seeing a whistleblower coming forward there too. So we shall see.
All right, my friend.
Okay, what's going to happen with Weasel? Weisel, I know, but I call him Weasel. Weaselberg, Trump Organization CFO.
Oh, yeah, he's in hiding right now.
Right.
Now, listen, this is what I saw. I see them trying to get him to spill or to give them things they need to know. But I feel him being very stubborn.
Yeah,
Even
they
though
want to flip.
Even though they're going to put him in jail or he's waiting for the final, it says. But I see something happening outside of them. Somebody else is coming in and more information comes that these people are drowning. Like, we don't even need to make you a deal, sucker.
Right.
Guilty as charged.
There's somebody else coming along that'll flip. Huge. All right. Folks are flocking to tax-free states like Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. This is driving up the cost of homes. Do you see other states changing income tax brackets? The cost of homes, this market is overinflated. The real estate market, and I see a crash coming, not like 2008, but people are paying above appraised value for properties. And my guides are telling me that like in about a year and a half, it'll change because there's going to be a lot of short sales dumped on the market again. Because people.
Oh, because I did see the government helping people to buy. They're going to do kind of like with World War II when everybody came back.
Right. It'll be an incentive for first-time buyers or people that want to downsize, whatever. But the market's going to turn, and that's going to bring housing down. I don't know how Florida, Tennessee, and Texas pay their bills if they're not having state income tax. I'm sure you pick it up somewhere else. You have to.
Probably from us, probably from California.
Yeah, probably.
Illinois. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know that's how Kentucky makes it.
Well, I'm sure Tennessee is
the second poorest state.
Yeah, I know.
And they get their money from our taxes.
Okay. This is a good one. Linda Schmermeyer. Are birds adapting to global warming? What can I do as a person who lives in a small city to help nature with the warming? Well, I think birds adapting. Well, the geese here haven't flown away. Usually this time of year, they're gone. And so
it's so funny she said that, because like with a lot of these storms, I wonder where they are. Where do they go? And they're the ones that can survive.
Exactly.
They know how to survive.
I think if you live in a smaller city, my take on it is to help global warming. Just be aware, use less water, try to drive less if you can. I think
I leave water out for the birds and bird food and.
Right. I think one of the best things you can do is speak up and just say, that the government needs to put things in place to protect us from this climate change.
Right.
Anyway, okay.
They're working on that right now in Scotland.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Jenny Brown. Hello, Mel and Linda. I love watching both of you. Yay, thanks, Jenny. Jenny, you get the star for the day.
Jenny gets the big star.
My question is, do the people who work for Trump, like Giuliani, Calamari, whatever his name is, and all of his minions, feel any remorse for what they did? No, they don't.
No, well, Giuliani is really struggling.
Oh, I know.
Notice you haven't heard a word. How about the Kraken? Has anybody heard from her?
No.
Since she got banned from Mar-a-Lago?
I love it. Do they resent or are they angry at Trump for the situation she put them in? I'll let you answer it, but I just want to say.
I do feel that they will regret it.
Right.
But right now I feel they really have to stick with this thing was stolen.
Exactly. It's deceive, divert, or redirect. They know what they're doing. And they know it's a lie. The election was stolen. They know it's BS. But here's where I differ. Do they resent or are they angry at Trump for the situations he put them in? They put themselves in that situation by
Okay.
being affiliated with Trump and by doing his bidding, because they were all power hungry. Because if
Right,
somebody has a moral conscience, they wouldn't do something like that to begin with.
right, exactly.
So I think maybe they feel bad because they got caught.
There you go. But I do see, I'm going to tell you, I just got a psychic flash on Giuliani.
Oh,
He is really not doing good. And I'm going to tell you something right now. He is actually overwhelmed at the fact that Trump hasn't stood up for him.
and he hasn't given him any money for his legal defense.
But he's thinking of a way to get back at Trump. Remember, he said, I know where the bodies are buried.
Right.
I feel like he might try to start some shit.
Well, I know that they're pressuring Giuliani to flip.
I think he might flip.
I think he will too. I just don't know where attorney-client privilege comes into play there, but I'm sure he will.
Well, he never paid him. So what attorney-client privilege? Trump never paid him.
Oh, I thought Giuliani was his attorney. I don't know how that works, but the bottom line is, I see Giuliani convicted. I see a conviction or convictions for Giuliani. However, and this is a huge however, I think you hit it, he'll flip because he's trying to get even with Trump, not because he has any remorse about the stuff that he did.
Okay.
Anyway,
And
there's
Giuliani's not physically well either, by the way.
no, I don't think so either. That I keep thinking, if he'll live long enough to even have to serve any time in prison, because
I just feel energetically he's really struggling.
Yeah,
He might even be beginning stages or something.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not tomorrow at 2:30, but I don't see, when I try to tune into a long-term future for him, I can't see anything, which usually means just that there's not a long-term future.
Right.
So he's got to watch his health. Okay. This is a good one. Michelle Bentliff. Dear Mel and Linda, my question is, do you see an increase in pay for teaching assistants? As a teaching assistant with special needs kids for 25 years, I earn less than $25,000 a year. I believe only the parents and teachers of this country know how important staff are in the classroom. Yeah, I agree with that. Without experienced, knowledgeable people, the education system would fall apart. I actually teach children just like the teacher. Ask any teacher or parent of special needs children how they feel about support staff. We never get mentioned when education is being discussed, whether it's politicians, media, etc. Thank you both. Thank you both of you so very much for all that you do. Love, love, love. That was very nice.
Very nice.
Let's give an applause to the staff and the teachers' assistants at school. I think teachers should be paid the highest on the planet. Teachers'
Exactly.
assistants the second highest paid. I do see the wage, my guide showed me the wage increasing for teachers and assistants.
I saw that a while ago.
Unfortunately,
Before Biden was president.
Unfortunately, I don't think it'll ever be as much as it should be.
Well, I see it being paid, people getting paid pretty good.
I think a lot of it depends on the state as well.
Right. Well, as things get better, I see them getting paid better because they should get paid. They're in charge of our children. They should get paid as much as firemen and policemen.
Agreed, but she's an assistant. She's not a teacher. She's an assistant, teaching assistant.
Oh, they barely get anything.
That's my point. So she's wanting to know if they'll get paid more, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, but slowly, yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish it could be a heck of a lot more. Anyway, okay, let me see. Okay, let me look here. I'm just going down the list. Okay. Susie Stroud, please, Mel and Linda, what do you expect? Will Congress lift the debt ceiling next month? because our Social Security and veterans checks will be frozen if Congress doesn't lift the debt ceiling.
Ooh, what do you feel?
I don't think they'll let the government default. Because if the Republicans did that, it would look really bad for them.
But McConnell said he planned on it.
Well, if he does, you know, it's going to be like, okay, look at what you've done, Mitch. You know, what I see at some point, Mitch McConnell's obstructionist politics aren't going to work any longer.
No, well, that's especially with the 2022, because he thinks he'll be back in power. And when it, once again, he's not, and they realize that Trump wasn't the backup that they should have used. Because Trump hates McConnell.
Oh, McConnell can't stand Trump either.
Yeah, so, but what's going to happen is he's just going to have to slide away. He's just not going to be able to stay.
Mitch is going to be under the Kleenex because I couldn't hold on to power. It's going to be.
Yeah, they will come up with something. Yeah.
Okay,
it's going to be all stressful again and evil. But I actually see Republicans crossing the line and voting in favor of. Yep.
Yeah, because
they're a community working together.
Because they know if they don't, then it's going to look bad for them in the midterms. All right, this is a good one. How's my man Robert Mueller? Sangita or Miter Sangita ask, what's he up to?
I see him quietly living at home.
Yep. They're still going to bring a lot of his stuff that report back to the surface.
I'm telling you, he will eventually be known as like a hero because he got cut off. I remember telling people that they're busy trying to not let him go certain directions.
That's right.
And he did the best he could with what he had.
That's right.
But may I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
What do you think of this whole Durham thing?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes.
He ignored the paperwork he had. And this Russia thing did happen and it was reported to the FBI. Yet he's trying to get somebody on some bogus thing just to show he got somebody. And now they're going to be looking at him.
That's going to be explosive.
Oh, I love it. I love
and they're going to find that he committed improprieties. Whether or not it was illegal, I don't know.
And I don't see him going to jail or anything, but he will have to bow his head down in shame. Remember, I kept thinking, this guy's a nothing burger.
Exactly. I mean, he's going to be in deep doo-doo for what he didn't do.
Because the DOJ is already asking him, what exactly is this?
Exactly.
What's going on here?
I see him taken out of power. I see him, I don't know if he resigned or if he still.
I think he resigns.
But, well, yeah, he resigned because if he knew he could still get his pension, if he stayed there and he got fired, he wouldn't get it.
Yeah, he's resigning. I just saw him handing.
But I would not want to be in his shoes. I don't know. I don't think he'll be indicted. I do think there's investigations in the FBI. Now, if they can prove that he knew about it.
No, he'll try to act like it, you know, he's going to spin it, but still it helps that other guy because he's not going to be in trouble.
And the one thing it's going to do is a lot of those Trumplicans in the FBI who.
There's still some there.
Who helped Trump as opposed to doing their job. That's going to come to the surface as well.
That tells you, even though a lot of police officers don't want to get vaccinated, a lot of it's because they believe all the conspiracies. And what's that Brandon comment that Southwest Airlines pilot said?
Oh, I didn't hear that. What was it?
Some Southwest Airlines said, go Brandon something, which is some thing about Biden sucks. It's the way you say Biden sucks. Well, and someone complained and a reporter was on the plane. And the pilot nearly had that person removed just because they said, that's not right that you said that, you know. And he's going to try to show his power. So now Southwest Airlines is all over this because the reporter wrote it up and they're something will happen with the guy. But yeah.
I'm sure they'll probably put him on administrative leave or sanction him some way. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
You know, some people just shouldn't be in the
Well,
flight.
it's like that judge with the Rittenhouse or Kittenhouse or whatever his name is. He
Right.
did the sign of the white power, the judge.
Wow.
Where he said, don't call the 2 men that kid killed victims.
Right. Well, he's another one that's going to be in a lot of hot water.
Oh yeah, they're gonna make it, anything that happens with this is going to be renewed again, reviewed.
This is from Marge. Will the legislature or governorship of Iowa go blue in 2022? It's going to take, Iowa's pretty red. It's going to take a while.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
I think, they'll get more Democrats in the legislature.
Mhm.
And if they can kind of get more of a majority in the legislature, then if they do get a Republican governor, then that whatever that governor wants could be blocked in the legislature. That's how I see it playing out.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Will both bills get done this week? I just heard they're thinking about not passing it this week or something. I don't know, but
It'll get done, but I don't know when.
I see them going through. Okay. The Vargas family wants to know if the federal government is going to subsidize people who've been in the hospital so long for COVID. Will they get financial help to cover the cost?
I don't see that.
I don't either.
You can go on state disability.
Well, I think they're talking about covering the cost of the hospital.
Or you mean, will the hospitals get?
I just think they're asking, if they can get some financial help to cover the cost of the hospitalization.
I don't know.
I don't either, actually. I hadn't thought about that. Can Democrats get elected by offering and delivering expanded Medicare coverage? Oh, absolutely.
Heck yeah. But Manchin doesn't want it. Manchin doesn't want your elderly people to have dental or eye or anything.
Yeah, but Manchin, I don't like him, but he's West Virginia. And so he kind of has to play to some of that right-wing stuff going on.
I know, but there's so many poor people in West Virginia, of all places, that should want something.
Yeah, but those poor people still vote.
Yeah, and Biden's numbers are down to 47%. But I'm not worried about that. But let me tell you something, I was laughing to myself. If Biden offered another check to this country, okay, I'm going to give you all another, whatever they called it, check.
Stimulus check.
Yeah. Oh, he would be back in a New York minute.
Well, I just think, this temporary decrease in popularity is just temporary. That's what
I'm feeling too.
I got to look and see what Trump's popularity was his first 9 months in office and do a comparative analysis.
Well, I don't think he got past 30 something to 40.
Yeah, right. So even with Biden's lowest numbers is better than Trump's. So I don't know. She wants to know if people will come out to vote, come hell or high water, for candidates who solve real problems. I see people coming out voting. Yes.
Like ants.
Absolutely.
But listen, babe, I've got a reading in like 4 minutes.
Okay. We got a lot of questions answered today.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yay. All righty. Hold on just a minute. I'm sorry. Oops. My phone was going off. I could hear my hearing aids. Next week on your channel?
On my channel.
All right, sweetie. You stay well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And anybody that is on my Twitter, at Hope Springs 10, write them and ask them, why is Linda G. Comanche Psycho or at Hope Springs 10 off Twitter, and at least tell me why.
Now, people want to contact you for a reading. They contact Angel Hearts for
Angel Heart for You, YOU, for the number 4.
Well, okay.
For you.net.
All right, sweetie.
Bye, babies.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let me just stop this.
Okay.